5 misconceptions about pressurized fermentation. Yes, 5, it might be more, but 5 makes for a good thumbnail. So let's say 5 misconceptions about pressurized fermentation. I just did a recording on 5 benefits of doing pressurized fermentation, and the 5 misconceptions is from like, is this good content? Might be like blowing out here. 5 misconceptions from questions I got from my Q&A videos about pressurized fermentation. I have 3 of them, so you can go and check them out. We'll link to my playlist about pressurized fermentation. I have been brewing pressurized for a couple of years, so yeah, I have done a lot of experiments with pressurized fermentation. So let's stop talking, let's jump right in. I'm Dr. Hans, this is Dr. Hans Brewery. No, it is not. It's a bus station, but this channel, Dr. Hans Brewery, I do experimental beer brewing videos, doing a lot of pressurized fermentation, of course, here on the channel, and a lot of stupid experiments so you don't have to. So if you're into that, consider becoming a subscriber. Stop talking, let's just get fucking started. I'm not taking the bus, sorry, I swear. Yeah, not taking the bus. Benefit? No, this is not about benefits. Misconception number 1. Yes, and we're getting quite close to the, am I screaming? We're getting quite close to the freeway now, so you can probably hear that one. But there is a store here where we can buy something to drink. I don't think they have cold beers, but we can get a soda or something. Misconception number 1, you need a specialty yeast. When I started fermenting under pressure, there were not so much to, no YouTube videos to watch, and not so much to read about it. So you should use this special yeast from White Labs, the high pressure lager yeast. So I used that one, it worked, but then I tried some other yeasts, and then I just kept on. I've tried so many different yeasts and have had no issue with none of them. So no, you don't need a special yeast for fermenting under pressure. Yeah, I also heard a lot that people really enjoy the way I say yeast. So benefit number, not benefit, misconception number 2, just jump right on. Second misconception, we do pressurized fermentation to get carbonation in our beer. No, we do get that as a benefit, it's a bonus, but I think there are better benefits than that. And you can go and watch the 5 benefits of doing pressurized fermentation video. But of course, we can get carbonation in our beers. And if you have ever bottle fermented a beer, you have been doing pressurized fermentation already. Because that's what happened when you bottle carbonate your beer. And of course, the Germans have to do pressurized fermentation at least some stage, because they can't add CO2, so they would break the German purity laws, the Reinheitsgebot, so they have to ferment under pressure. We get carbonated beer, that's freaking awesome, but I wouldn't say that's why we ferment under pressure, right? Let's jump to the next one. Number 3, pressurized fermentation is just for doing quick hot ferment lagers. No, it's not. The benefits of pressurized fermentation are so many. Keeping oxygen out, everything is simple. It's carbonated beer, be able to serve out of the vessel, speed up time, shorter conditioning time, there's several. So go and watch the video, but it's not just for lagers. I would do ale in it as much as I would do lagers, right? The next one, I stopped counting now, but the doctor can do that in post. Pressurized fermentation makes bland beer because it suppresses the esters. Not that I've noticed. So I would say that's a misconception. Have you actually had bland beer? Beer will keep longer, you keep oxygen out, you should have better beer, right? Not bland beer. I don't think that really esters are being suppressed in that way that people are afraid of. Because we still get banana from your wheats and phenols from your saisons and stone fruits from your ale, yeast and so on. So no, for me it's a misconception. I don't know who are spreading this, but you just try it and see for yourself. Let's jump to the next one. Finally at the store, let me just pop in and buy a drink. Not sponsored. If Coca-Cola wants to sponsor, they're welcome. Okay, the next one. You don't need temperature control. Well, you don't need temperature control just when fermenting in a bucket either, but it is better. And I find that you do get away with a little more flaws, fluctuating temperature, or your yeast will rush during fermentation, but you don't get away with it all. I would still recommend having temperature control. Temperature control doesn't mean that you have to control just with like a fridge or chill at all. You could just temperature control just with heat. I have a video on that also. It depends on your ambient temperature, of course, and the yeast you're using. But temperature control, I still think it's important, but maybe not as important. But yeah, that's my 2 cents. Cheers. Let's jump to the next one. Another misconception is that you will get strongly overcarbed beer when fermenting at high pressures. Well, if you would like ferment at 10 degrees Celsius and do a 35 psi fermentation, 2.4 bars, of course you will get overcarbed beers. I have a calculator on my website, you can use that. You can see what carbonation level will I get if I ferment at this pressure, at this temperature, and it's the end temperature that counts, end temperature and pressure during active fermentation, not cold crashing after fermentation. Then you will have the same amount of carbonation even if the temperature goes down. The next one, yes, pressurized fermentation is complicated and expensive. A bucket is cheap, yes, I will give you that. Complicated, no, but it doesn't have to be that expensive either. Why don't you check out my shake and brew video I did? Made a really simple beer fermented under pressure. Shake and brew, shake and brew. Shake it like the doctor, check it out down below. Links all over the place. Let me see if I can squeeze some more in this through this video. Yes, I got one more, and this is a good one. Pressure goes down after fermentation. No, it doesn't. If the pressure goes down after fermentation, that actually means that you have a leak, right? But what doesn't mean that you have a leak is that if you have pressurized your vessel and dialed in your spunding, when spunding valve before fermentation had kicked in, then pressure will go down because the CO2 you push on there will get absorbed into the liquid, and you might have changed the temperature also. But if temperature is constant and fermentation ends and you don't have a leak, pressure will be constant. If you're starting to lower the temperature for cold crashing, pressure will go down, of course, as the liquid will shrink and also the CO2 in the headspace. So pressure will go down, of course, but carbonation will not go down. But if pressure goes down at the end, it's not a sign that fermentation is over, probably, because you don't have an O pressure that made you not to spot that leak. But if pressure is falling, you have a leak, my friend. Please hit the like button, share, subscribe to the video. If you want to support my channel, wanted to get in touch with Coca-Cola and hear if they want to sponsor me. You could also sponsor me by becoming a patron or channel members, or just buy me a beer. All links down below. See you in the next one. Då åkte Hans out.